Hello, this is Jeff with BanishedBipolar.com. I'd like to welcome you to the site, and I hope you'll find it helpful and informative. In 1998, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and that began 4 years of me being tried on several different cocktails of drugs in an attempt to treat my illness. Those included lithium, Depakote, Abilify, Lamictal, Afetzerexar, several of them that you can find listed in an article on my site called Dr. Pill, The Chemical Approach to Treating Bipolar Disorder. But what I'd like to discuss in this video is the connection that food allergies have with mental illness, including bipolar. After 4 years of being on the drugs, I remained extremely mentally ill, extremely depressed, suicidal at times. In fact, in 1998, I tried to commit suicide twice and very nearly succeeded, and again in 2001. But in 2002, at the suggestion of my mother, I went to see a alternative medicine practitioner in Houston, Texas, and using a technique called applied kinesiology, he diagnosed me with several food allergies, including wheat, dairy products, sugar, peanuts, and several other delicious things that I love to eat quite frequently. But he told me, avoid these foods and you'll feel a lot better, I guarantee it. And so I took him at his word, decided to give it a shot, and sure enough, within weeks, I was feeling much better. I used to spend most of the day asleep because I was so miserable when I was awake that was the only, sleeping was the only way that I could escape the mind-numbing, spirit-crushing depression that I used to live with every single moment of my waking hours. I was absolutely miserable and frequently suicidal. And, that started to go away when I changed my diet. And, I didn't want to. I loved eating those particular foods. I craved them, particularly dairy products and sugar. From my youngest years, I have loved sweets. But I've learned that with the exception of a few natural alternatives, just occasional treats like a Cliff Bar or something, I have to avoid sugar if I want to feel well. And the same goes for the other things that I'm allergic to. And sometimes in life you can't change things. You just have to accept the way they are and move on. And so that's what I did. I changed my diet and began to feel a lot better. The depression lifted. The psychotic symptoms that I was having occasionally, like occasional audio hallucinations, those completely went away. I would hear not really, voices like auditory voices, like hearing an outside voice, but thoughts that were very negative and very derogatory toward me, that made me feel really, really bad, like I was a worthless piece of trash and not of any value to anybody. And of course, that's a symptom of major depression. But, I think it's a sad, very sad reality that conventional medical doctors do not normally consider food allergies when they treat mental illness. They just prescribe drugs, most of which are expensive and frequently dangerous, and for me, not very effective. And I'm sure that I'm not alone in finding that to be the case. So, in this video, primarily what I'd like to do is just, if you found this site and you're curious about food allergies, I'd really encourage you to look into them and the effect that they have on bipolar disorder. Get yourself tested for food allergies. There's a lot of people that say that the technique of applied kinesiology doesn't work, that it's pseudoscience, but on a personal level, I strongly disagree with that view because it's worked beautifully for me, and I know that's the case for many other people as well. So, find yourself a good practitioner, get yourself tested. It's worth looking into. You have, nothing to lose and a whole bunch to gain. My life is great now. I hope on this side I'll be able to help you reach the same or similar level of mental health that I've attained that, 7 or 8 years ago I would have never thought would have been possible. And again, this is Jeff with BanishedBipolar.com. Thanks.